Hi guys, it's Misty from the Book Rat, and I am back yet again with another video today. This time I actually am doing a first impressions, unlike yesterday's that turned into a full-on review. Today I will be taking a look at Spies, Lies, and Allies. You can't see that at all. There we go. Spies, Lies, and Allies by Lisa Brown Roberts, as well as sharing a little excerpt with you. So the full synopsis to this, as well as links to the books, will be in the description. I'm not going to waste too much time on a synopsis, but basically it's contemporary, pretty straightforward. I'm going to get straight into the excerpt, and we'll follow that up with my first impressions. Timestamps for those will be in the comments in case you want to skip one or the other, but I'm going to get straight into it. So right from the beginning of chapter 1, this is just to kind of give you a feel for the style and the voice of the story. No real setup needed, I don't think, so here we go. It's the second Saturday in May, and I'm counting the days until I'm free of Clarkson K-12 Academy. Tonight, awards night, my school sparkles like a scaled-down version of the Dolby Theater on Oscar night, fancied up in twinkling lights, ruby red velvet stage curtains, and glittering decorations. Our private school is jokingly called Harvard High. Everything is overfunded and insanely competitive. Like all the Oscar almost winners say, it's an honor just to be nominated. And in my case, that's true. All I want is to stand on stage and see my parents in the crowd. Well, see my dad. Mom will be there, she always is. But Dad? Odds are low that Dad Vader will tear himself away from Emergent Enterprises, aka his evil empire. Is he here yet? I text my mom. I'm in violation of the no cells on stage rule, but I don't care. Her reply is quick. Not yet, which in our family is code for he's not coming. My heart, which had been fluttering around hopefully, folds in on itself and sinks back into my chest. Despite my low odds, the fantasy of actually winning the photography award and standing at the mic to thank my dad for buying all my equipment, watching his face light up with pride, that fantasy has played in my head for days. And now for the photography award. Our principal's voice jolts me to attention. I squint my eyes against the lights, searching hopefully for my dad's dark hair, but I can't distinguish faces in the crowd. Where's my zoom lens when I need it? As most of you know, Clarkson Academy prides itself on its award-winning photojournalism classes, Dr. Farnham says, her spiky silver hair glinting under the spotlight. Our top photographers often continue their studies in college, and at last count we had 5 Clarkson graduates working in major media outlets across the globe. The crowd applauds politely as I rattle off those graduates' names in my mind. I stalk them in the news and social media because one day I hope to follow in their footsteps. This year we have an outstanding slate of nominees, continues Dr. Farnham. Without further ado, I'd like each student to stand as I call their name. I zone out as she rattles off the names. I already know that Blake is going to win. Awards always go to seniors, which he is, and his photos are as jaw-dropping as his attitude is annoying. If he had a halfway decent personality, I'd be madly in love with him, but unfortunately, he's as pretentious as he is gifted. We each stand as Dr. Farnham calls our names. As I rise from my chair, I'm keenly aware of how wrongly I pegged the event's attire, wearing one of my mom's one-of-a-kind yarn and fabric creations instead of something sleek and sophisticated like all the other girls on the stage. I feel like a hippie flower girl trailing in the glamorous bride's wake. My phone buzzes in my hand again, and I sneak a glance at the text. "You look amazing!" followed by a thumbs-up emoji and a heart from my best friend Lexi. That means I don't look amazing, and Lexi feels the need to give me a bad outfit choice pre-award loss boost. I chew on my lip to hide my bittersweet smile. Lexi knows me better than anyone. A selection of our nominees' best photographs is displayed in the hall outside the auditorium. Please take time to view them later if you haven't already. Dr. Farnham clears her throat and glances at us, then proceeds to open the envelope. I can hear the Oscar drum roll in my imagination as her finger slides under the tab and she removes the ivory card. And our winner is Blake Hamilton! Please give him a round of applause. Even though I knew my odds of winning were minuscule, a tidal wave of disappointment floods through me. I try to keep a "Yay, Blake" smile plastered on my face as Blake pushes past me in his rush toward the mic, stepping on my toes. Dr. Farnham presents him with a certificate and a crystal disc engraved with his name, the year, and an etching of a classic Brownie camera circa 1940. I've been picturing that award engraved with my name on it for weeks. My shoulders slump as I sit down, since standing is for winners. It's just as well Dad's not here to witness my failure. So that is a little snippet of Spies, Lies, and Allies, and I'm going to get into my thoughts. The goal with the first impressions is to read the first little bit of the story and kind of start jumping to conclusions on basically whether I would like it, whether I'd want to keep reading, and whether I would recommend it to you guys. So I take a look at the tone and the voice and the style and where it seems to be headed, and just kind of cobble together my thoughts, which for the most part are overwhelmingly positive on this one. Maybe it's that I've been craving contemporary, as I mentioned earlier in the week in a video, but I don't know, the voice just drew me right in. I like Laurel. I like where it seems to be headed. Tone-wise, I think she's a character that I would want to spend some time in her voice and her narration. It's probably going to be fairly predictable, but in that way that you want. You know, like, predictable can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. Most of the time when we say it, it's a bad thing. But every now and then, you have these stories that, yeah, you know, you can plot it out, you know what's going to happen, but that adds a comfort layer. You like that. This can be especially true in romances because you don't necessarily need it to be twisty-turny. You want to see the build-up and the will they, won't they, and that's more the point of the story than to, like, shock you or something. So there are instances where predictable is not a bad thing and actually can be a good thing, and I think this will probably be the case for Spies, Lies, and Allies. It had a few things working for it that I really enjoyed. Number one, as you might have gathered from the intro, is aside from the inevitable romance focus, this has a really strong thread of a parent-child relationship. So Laurel wants to reconnect with her dad. She misses having a solid relationship with him. She wants to please him, have him be proud of her. It's something that you don't get a lot of in YA. Typically the parents in middle grade and YA books are shuffled off the board as quickly as can be. Either they're dead, or they are gone for some reason, they're workaholics, they're clueless, like whatever will keep them out of the way so that the underage main characters can do whatever they need to do that normally they wouldn't get away with if a parent was involved. So you don't get a lot of parent-child interaction and good parent relationships in YA books, which is kind of sad, and I like that the focus of this, one of the main focuses of this, foci of this, is going to be that relationship. As I was flipping through from the cover into the excerpt to read it today, my eyes caught on the dedication, which says, "For my father who I miss every day," which kind of broke my heart a little bit, but I think maybe this is going to be a little bit of a love letter to a father-daughter relationship, and I think that's really refreshing. It's not something that you get a lot, or ever, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see where it goes and to see parents that are actually involved and a main point of the story without it being, you know, like the parent has mental illness or is abusive or something, because that tends to be the only way you see a parent a focus in middle grade and YA, which is really sad. This also has a pretty strong, like, nerddom thing going on in it. At one point she did say the thing about Dad Vader in this. That's a running thing. So throughout everything that I've read so far, it's all like one extended Star Wars reference. She can turn anything into a Star Wars reference. That may get old. You know, it might be too heavy-handed, it might be too much, but it also kind of adds to the voice and the personality of the story, and obviously will help it connect with fans of Star Wars and sci-fi and help people relate to the character. Might make it really good for fans of Geekerella and books like that kind of have that little bit of a nerd streak, but I think it also is going to kind of work as an extended metaphor with her and her dad and the kind of relationship between them. So hopefully it won't be too much, but you know, it is an element there that so far I like and think adds character. Spinning off that, yesterday, I think it was yesterday? Yes, it was. Yesterday I talked a little bit about continuity and how I hone in on certain things and can't let them go. There was a little element in this that I was kind of questioning, because the premise of this is that Laurel goes to work for her dad for the summer, dealing with the interns that he has competing for a scholarship program. She badgers him into letting her work with him for the summer because she wants to spend time with him. She wants to rekindle that relationship and get to see her dad more frequently. And so when he agrees to it, she makes a lot of jokes about his evil empire and calls his business the Death Star. And you can kind of see in the beginning that it hurts him. And when he agrees to let her come to work, he says something about maybe she'll see that his business isn't so bad or whatever, which is fine. That seems like a great setup. But then when she goes to work, it's revealed that she actually worked there the previous summer, which kind of throws a wrench into the whole setup of the premise, because if she already worked there, she would know what the business is like, and she would know that it wasn't successful in her getting to spend time with her dad, because, I mean, it happened last summer, and clearly it didn't rekindle the relationship. So that was a little bit of a continuity thing that so far is eating at me. Maybe as the book goes on, that will be explained a little bit more, but it threw up some questions. You know, as I was reading, I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't really make a ton of sense. That said, I always try to kind of wrap up these first impressions with, would I recommend it and would I keep reading it myself? And the answer is yes, and I'm gonna. So from what I've read so far, I definitely recommend it. I think it's very engaging and flows, and I like the personality that's being set up. I really like the kind of two plot points of like normal, straightforward contemporary romance thing, but also the parent-daughter thing. As for what I keep reading it, I fully intend to, like, right now. So technically I'm in the middle of Emergency Contact at the moment, but I'm setting that aside and I'm just gonna keep reading Spies, Lies, and Allies because it's charming me. I like the voice, I like the pace, and I'm probably just gonna go ahead and sit down and keep reading it when I'm done filming this video. So that is a thumbs up. That definitely gets my seal of approval. So it's kind of a weird one for first impressions this week, because normally I'm like, yeah, I'll get back around to it eventually, and then never do. Or, it's not for me, and I add it to the donate pile. I don't normally just immediately keep going, but with yesterday's first impressions, that turned into review because I finished it. I just kept reading the damn thing. And this one will be the same. So thanks, Entangled Teen. You've been sending me some good ones. That is my initial thoughts on Spies, Lies, and Allies by Lisa Robert... Nope, that's not the name. Lisa Brown Roberts? Just pull that up. So that is my initial thoughts on Spies, Lies, and Allies by Lisa Brown Roberts. This one, I believe, is out now by the time you're seeing it. I want to say it came out on the 1st, but if not, it's definitely out this week, so you'll be able to pick it up if you are intrigued. The link to the book as well as the full synopsis is in the description, so you can find out all about that there. I'd be curious to know your thoughts on it in the comments, whether it's on the excerpt that I shared or on the things that I talked about, and whether you also would like to see more solid parent-child relationships in books. I think that is worth discussing, but let me know your thoughts down there in the comments. And if you've missed any of the videos that have gone up this week, there has been one every day this week, so check those out. I've been busy. But we've only got one more to go, and then this week will be finished. So hopefully you're not sick of me. If you are, you're gonna get a break-ish soon. But until tomorrow's video, thank you guys for watching, and happy reading.